Good Saturday morning, and welcome to another exciting edition of Outdoors with Larry Ray on 790 The Bet. Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited. Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray. Yes, I am in the studio today. Well, at least my body's in here today. I don't know about my mind and I don't know about my voice, but there's nothing to be fun about 2 weeks off with the flu, but appreciate everybody filling in for me last week. David Beal came in the studio. Of course, Shelby McCall is taking care of me, and then, of course, the best Outdoors with Larry Ray 2 weeks ago, and we're ready to start the new year here in 2025 on this January the 11th, and that means it is second Saturday, and he is here. And good Saturday morning, Ron Wong.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Larry. Good morning, Guy.
What's he got on over
I'll
at
tell
Guy
you.
Trebo? What's he wearing over at Guy Trebo?
His Ole Miss stuff.
He's got his Ole Miss stuff on, doesn't he?
Big win last night.
Yeah, not last night. Thursday night.
Thursday
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
I'm all messed up. Yeah.
I'm losing track of days.
Yeah, you're
because,
losing track of days.
You know, that's just the way it
I've
is.
been sick too.
Yeah.
I was sick for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was sick for 2 weeks, and then Ron's been basking Ole Miss beating Arkansas Wednesday night, and I just
And I'm
said
just ready
they
to-
really played well. I mean, they played like the coach wanted to play, and that's a tribute to the coach and the defense.
Everything has to do with the coach.
Yeah,
and
but
all
we
of
both
college
we
ball.
both won our bowl games. We can be happy over that.
I'll
So,
tell you something.
and you were at
I was
AutoZone
on
Liberty
the
Bowl.
field.
Yes, you were.
On the AutoZone Liberty Bowl,
yes,
where Arkansas
yes,
really and truly dominated that game against Texas Tech.
and they wanted to be there. It was obvious that the Hogs wanted to be there. So,
The Hogs have a 6'6" quarterback.
yeah, we do.
Although he's a little bit thin,
He's going
I'm
to get
s-
stronger.
I'm
next
sure
year.
they're going to make
Yeah.
him stronger and bigger. But he is something else
Coach
to
Wong
watch.
over there. He is telling us what we need to do to our quarterback, and that's true. But anyway, Happy New Year to everyone out there. And like I say, 2 weeks with the flu, and the guy had down with it. And so we're bouncing back here. If I get my back straightened out, that'll be fine. But I ain't got that straightened out yet. But I know my deer season is over. I did get my big buck, but I missed the last week or two of the season. I know some of you folks in Mississippi are still going, I think. And, of course, this is the youth hunt this weekend in Tennessee for all you youth deer hunters. And I'm hoping some adults take a bunch of kids out this weekend. It's a little tricky on the weather situation. We're not even going to talk about that.
No.
But on today's show, we're going to welcome in a couple new sponsors that I know that Guy and Ron are familiar with. Welcome aboard B&M Poles, our good friends out of West Point, Mississippi, as they join Outdoors with Larry Ray. We're going to talk to Jack Wells, who's been part of that third-generation family, part of that from the Simmons family way on back to Buck Simmons and all like that. But we're going to talk to Jack, and then we're going to talk to Jimbo Robinson. He is the Ducks Unlimited Managing Director, Event Marketing, and Field Support, which you can't say in one breath. But anyway.
Hard to get on a business card.
Yeah, it is. It goes over on the back. But we're going to talk to Jimbo about what's going on with DU and welcome them aboard with the TWRA as sponsors of Outdoors with Larry Ray. And you can go to LarryRay.com, click on that little thing up in the top right-hand corner. It'll tell you how to advertise with us on the website, right, Guy?
Yep.
Or on the radio station. Either one of those, we'd welcome the additional support. And then we're going to talk about the big event that's coming up on next Saturday out at Cameron Brown Park in Germantown. It's the Mid-South Fly Fishers Freeze Out, and they're going to be catching trout. Now, I never thought I'd say that many years ago.
Oh,
they'd be
you
catching
know they're going
trout.
to catch some trout.
Yeah, because they're stocking them this next week, and so they're having their trout day out there.
I think I'll go every day, catch them all. There
Don't
won't
do
be
that.
any left.
Don't do that. But there'll be a lot of them. Anyway, we're going to talk to Jud Parker. He is the vice president of the Mid-South Fly Fishers. And close out the show today with a couple of guests. One's mine, Jeremy Dennison. He is the TWRA CWD coordinator, and we'll kind of wrap up the deer season. And then Mr. Wong over there has got a guest on that should give the show a real charge. I mean,
Truly.
Oh, come on.
come on now. Lithium batteries. What do you expect I want to say? Okay, I've been saving that when Ron told me we were going to get Lester Miller on from Miller Tech Lithium Batteries. I said, Ron, right on, Ron. We need a charge this morning.
Absolutely.
With all that. And so we'll talk to Lester. That's a family-owned company, too. I've looked it up and really glad that they're a faith-based company.
They are.
And, that means a lot to us. But
Well, and we've used some of their products. I use their lithium batteries in my boats.
Yes.
And you've got a headlight by them.
I do have a headlight by them,
and
too.
that thing is really first class.
I take it in the Deerwoods with me and whatever. And, boy, you talk about a first-class pro staff, too. We could talk to Lester about their guys.
Yeah.
Some
Jacob
of our
Wheeler,
favorite people, Dustin Canal.
Joey C. Fuentes, the cowboy.
And Boom Boom.
Boom Boom
Rubanis. Yes. So anyway, that's going to be fun at the end of the show. But bear with us today as we go through this new year, 2025. We don't write checks as many as we used to. And I used to have trouble with that new year would pop up on my checks. But now we don't use checks quite as much. But 2025, I can remember Y2K, guys. Seemed like it was just yesterday.
Yep.
We didn't think we were going to survive Y2K. Everybody was worried about their computers not working. I remember the radio station, the newspaper. I'm sure FedEx was concerned about that too, Ron, back in those days. Is Y2 going to shut down FedEx?
It was kind of crazy.
It was crazy.
It was a non-event.
Yeah, but you.
I had a prank I wanted to play.
Oh,
But
Y2K?
I didn't get to play.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to have a big party and everybody in the house.
Yeah.
And then go outside where the fuse box is, and right at midnight,
Turn the power off.
because that's what everybody was
That's
afraid
what
of.
everybody thought.
End of the world.
That's right.
But anyway, we're going to have a lot of fun on today's show with Guy Trebo in the studio as our special guest. And, of course, Ron is on twice a month, and we'll get him in a couple of weeks from now. But glad to be back after a couple of weeks off to kind of rejuvenate. And
I'll assume your wife, Miriam, is feeling better finally?
She's doing a lot better. She had 102 fever.
Wow.
And I know Guy had some stomach issues. I didn't have any of that. I didn't have fever, but I just had no get up and go, which I thought had got up and gone.
Well, I've been blessed, man.
You have. Yes, you have.
I'll tell you a tip that I do
What's
every
your tip?
day.
All right.
I have this
Go
one
fish.
tablet that's calcium, zinc, magnesium, and D3.
You take one of those every day?
Every day, because if you read up on zinc and magnesium, it is one of those things that helps your immune system, and it boosts your immune system.
I know I was on some of that when I was taking my cancer. I should have stayed with it. You're
know,
right
I'm
there,
go-
because
I'm
my
going-
immune system is still not back.
Well, I'll text you and Guy
Some information on that?
Well, yeah, exactly what I get.
Okay, all right.
I take one every day.
Before you go fishing or after fishing?
Every day, whether I go fishing or not.
He's kind of been curtailed. I haven't seen many pictures this past week.
I've been, this past week I didn't.
No, it was a little nippy this past week.
Well, it never got above freezing, and what happens is that, all your stuff freezes up. Your reels freeze up because of the water.
You freeze up. I mean, you got.
I'm plenty warm. That doesn't bother me. I've got good clothes and.
We'll talk about that now, because this is with the segment we do the fishing report with Ron.
Well,
but with all the
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, okay, all right, last year.
Around New Year's there.
Okay, all right.
The water temperature in most area lakes was 52 to 55
What
degrees.
do you think it is now?
Well, I know it's 42 degrees
42
right now.
has dropped 10 degrees.
Yeah,
okay.
Depending on where you're at, it's going to be 42 to 45 degrees.
Okay, all right.
However,
the
fish are still biting, and actually the crappie have gotten very, very good. They've started schooling up and feeding on bait fish, schools of bait fish.
All right.
So if you're going to one of the I-55 lakes, what you're going to do is look for the seagulls.
Seagulls.
The birds.
The birds.
And that's for those that don't have forward-facing sonar.
Yeah.
But also if you have a graph, just look for schools of bait fish.
Got it for Christmas.
And fish below the bait fish right now anywhere from 8 to 7 feet deep, 7 to 8 feet deep.
All right.
Using a Captain Coleman double minnow rig.
Yep, double minnow.
With a small minnow.
Okay, small minnow.
Because that's all they're eating right now.
Okay.
And for those that are going to be using spider rigs.
Yeah, I know that.
Stay below 0.3 miles an hour when you're moving. You should move a little bit, but no more than 0.3 miles.
You get that guy 0.3, not 0.4.
That's pretty low.
0.5.
You know, because they're not moving much.
I'm not either.
They're staying with the bait. I mean, that's human nature.
That's right.
You're exactly right, Guy.
Yeah.
Same with fish. And fish over deeper water.
Okay.
Especially near the dams, whether it's Enid, Grenada, or Sardis.
Generating.
That's going to, and that's your clearest water. Most of your water is dirty right now.
It is, I know that.
Except for Pickwick and Kentucky Lake, those fish are down about 15 to 18 feet deep.
Yeah.
Fishing a 1/8 ounce eye hole jig with a
the eye hole jig.
Show enough chartreuse crappie magnet will work really well. Bass fishing, for those that are going bass fishing.
Yeah.
Black and blue jig tipped with a June bug colored rage bug will work really good, working it slow. And also an umbrella rig, especially if you're on the Tennessee River, using a 2.5 rage bug spinner.
And we got to close it. But I want to say also, as Ron always says, be safe. You know,
wear your life jacket.
Wear your life jacket. Get warm stuff, folks. It is cold out there.
42 to 45 degree water will cause hypothermia within 15 to 18 minutes.
There's that picture of my man.
We got a picture of David Beal. He caught about an 8-pound bass.
Yeah, he's out there in that cold water and everything. That's
I was out there. I've got my New Year's bass. I'm in great shape.
All right, Ron Wong's in great shape. If you didn't learn anything else, you figured out he's in great shape. Well, I know he is. Thank you, Ron. Let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. And let's head to West Point, Mississippi. Home of the B&M poles. Anybody know what B&M stands for? We'll tell you right back.
Oh, I was going to say it.
You know what it is. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we roll into our 25th year on the air. And this is Happy New Year because I missed a couple of weeks there. Not only was I sick, but took some holiday time off. But I'm back on this second Saturday of January, and that means that Mr. Ron Wong is over there. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, Larry. Good morning, everybody.
And, of course, my webmaster himself, Guy Trebo, is sitting in with us this morning. Good morning, Guy.
Good morning, Larry.
And we did welcome some new sponsors into Outdoors with Larry Ray. And we're going
hooray!
Yes, hooray, R-E-A. That's the way you spell hooray. But, I was going to name my son Jason. Instead of Jason, I was going to call him Who. I just thought it'd be pretty good. Hooray. But anyway, let's talk about our new sponsors, and we're going to kind of showcase these new additions to Outdoors with Larry Ray. And one of them's really no stranger because I was there when they dug the first shovel with Ducks Unlimited. When they came from Chicago to Memphis, I was out there and saw Billy Donovan and all those guys out there putting that shovel down, and everybody's saying, why in the world is Ducks Unlimited coming to Memphis?
I'm so happy they did.
How many years later is this, Jimbo Robinson?
30.
I'm testing you, Jimbo.
No, I think we celebrated 25 recently.
That's right.
I think 32.
That's about right.
Yep.
Over 3 decades. And, of course, that's Jimbo Robinson. He is the Ducks Unlimited Manager Director. Let me take another breath. Event Marketing and Field Support. We've already decided, Jimbo, you can't get that on one card. I mean,
I know. Well, it's special to be obviously a sponsor of you and kind of a full circuit moment for me because when I was a regional director here in West Tennessee, we talked numerous times on the show.
Yes, we did.
About events, local events, and so really excited to be a part of the outdoors with you and your team and what a great partnership with us being in Memphis and you having such an amazing show for all these years here in Memphis too. So it worked out great.
Well, I appreciate that, Jimbo, and I know I reached out to some folks because this is a special year for Outdoors with Larry Ray. It's our 25th year as we head into this new year. We hadn't been here quite as long as Ducks Unlimited has, but I was the outdoor editor
You've
to
been
Commercial.
running side by side, right?
Yeah, that's right. I was the outdoor editor to Commercial Appeal when all this transition came about. But talk to our listeners a little about what you do, Jimbo, because I know you guys. It's an amazing, and I tell people I don't know how many thousand cars. One time I heard 40,000 go by Walnut Grove, right by that big Ducks flag out there, and maybe don't know what's one block over in the woods, and what you guys have meant to this community since that first shovel was dug up those many years ago. So talk about your duties.
Well, I was a regional director here in West Tennessee for 13 years, in charge of all of our fundraising in West Tennessee, and then I had the Boot Hill of Missouri. And then in December of 2023,
yes,
the job opportunity to come back into the office full time as the managing director of event marketing and field support opened up. So I'm in charge of all of our event marketing aspects of what we do as far as advertising for events across the country, supporting our regional directors from the inside of the office, the team that we have that works here, and then something that falls under my team that is not in the title is our youth engagement program. So all of our varsity and collegiate chapters and that whole team of youth engagement coordinators across the country, they fall under my umbrella as well. So very, I've got to wear many hats in here, like most people do in the nonprofit world. Is you wear many hats, and a title is just a title. But
that's right.
When you
that's exactly right.
An awesome team, and also I have some incredible people on my team that really make the engine work on our youth side and on our promotional invitation side, and then as well as supporting our regional directors.
Well, I think you're going to find out, folks, as we go through 2025, you're going to find out a lot about DU right on this radio show. Every week, 90 minutes, we're going to showcase DU because I know what it means to the community. I know what it means to Jimbo and other people out there that work for this organization, because anybody knows how to throw a party. It's Ducks Unlimited, right, Jimbo? I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, how many events?
2025 is 2025 is going to be a special year for not only you, but our team as well, as we are bringing our trade show DUX to Memphis in August.
Isn't that something?
Wow,
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm all excited about this,
that's
folks,
cool.
because not only the Coast Association with DU and this radio show over the years, and when I was the outdoor editor to Commercial Appeal, but you guys bring so much. When people come to DU headquarters and they see DU on DU Nation, or they see it on TV, or whatever it might be, and the events that you guys put on, it's pretty amazing. So I got to ask you, was this something? Tell our listeners about your background, because I think a lot of folks would be interested to know. Because if you don't like ducks, you don't belong at DU. I can tell you that. So, talk about your dream job here.
It did, and so I had the opportunity this past weekend, to hunt with a company out of New Haven, Missouri, and the guy said, how long you been with DU? And I said, well, there'll be 17 years in July. And he looked at me, he goes, how old are you? I said, I'm 39. He goes, you're a lifer. I've never thought about it. And I said, well, yeah, in my adult life I am, but I've actually been a lifer. My grandfather and father have been hunting my entire life. My grandfather's hunting in his 76th duck season.
Way to go.
And And last weekend I got to share with the blind with my daughter, who's 5, my son, who's 8, my grandfather, who's 84, and they had the time of their life. And but I've been duck hunting my whole life. Went to Wofford, started a Ducks Unlimited University chapter at Wofford College in Spartanburg, South Carolina. While playing football, and that kind of led me to my path of coming here in 2008. And I worked in the office for a year and a half, and then had the opportunity to become the regional director here in West Tennessee, and it just aligned. And so remember attending my first Great Outdoors Expo here on the grounds of the Agri Center when I was a young child, and
it was hot.
And it was instilled in me by my family.
It was,
so,
And I know that Ron Wong is sitting in with us. He wants to say something to you, Jimbo.
Yeah, Jimbo, are there any events coming up here in the Memphis Mid-South area that people need to know about?
We do. We have our annual sponsor event happens here at our national headquarters every year.
Yeah.
It's a strong event, and it is the February 21st. It's our Wolf River sponsored dinner and auction, and it's in its 32nd year.
32nd year.
Wow. So I'm assuming
it was there when it started.
It started 33.
Yes. It was one of the oldest, and you guys put these things together on. And you know, folks, if you realize that everybody, and I'll still remember, people were shocked when they left Chicago. Well, they're coming down there. Well, they thought it'd be warmer, but they're coming to the Mississippi Flyway here. I mean, that was the obvious choice to come down here, but at the same time, the impact that DU has had on this community is unbelievable. Whether it's the greenheads or with the youth or anything like that, and you guys really lay out this thing, and he kind of teased us. And we're going to talk more about that big event in August because that's like coming home.
We'll get Jimbo on and talk about that.
Oh, we're going to talk about that because that's going to be coming home. Because these, and I'm sure from DU's aspect, all of these events that you have, whether it's the Wolf River, Germantown, or any of the other ones out there, it's a reunion when you have these things, right, Jimbo? I mean,
100%. I mean, I think it's, you think about annual holidays with family members that you only see once a year.
Yeah.
And that special time that you get to share with them, and the bond is that your family.
Yeah.
Well, when you think about a DU event, for some people it's the volunteers gathering to plan it, but then it's the people that come every year and have come for every year. That's their 3 hours to spend together, and their bond is the outdoors. And it's ducks, it's turkeys, it's deer, it's whatever they do in the outdoors. It's their time to spend together as outdoorsmen and share how the season went. And what was really interesting is I had kids, as being a regional director, was watching volunteers and friends and people that I knew attended every single year sharing pictures of their kids doing it. And and it wasn't about them anymore. Now it was about that next generation of hunters. And it always gave me a good feeling that this is what it's about, and watching people share photos. But it's that reunion of outdoorsmen in that 3-hour window, and the saying that we use all the time is it's a grand opening and a going out of business sale in 3 hours for DU.
And Jimbo, I support Ducks Unlimited, although I do not hunt.
You do eat
all.
though.
But one of the things that I love about DU and what they stand up for is a conservation of the wetlands. That affects us all.
Yeah.
All in the outdoors. And, a lot of times people don't think about that, or they'll think, why should I support DU? But think about the wetlands.
That's the clean water. It's the recreational activities. It encompasses so much more than just hunting.
That's right.
Yes, and that's the main thing we got.
The flooding mitigation and.
You're the voice, man. I mean,
absolutely.
You're the voice of so many. How many members y'all got? I mean, a rough estimate here.
715,000.
715,000.
And it doesn't cost much to become a member and to support
$35.
$35 and so many opportunities. Jimbo, we appreciate you taking time on this Saturday morning to be with us, and we didn't even talk about what the season's been like. I'm not going to ask you that. We're going to keep it like this.
Thank you.
We're not talking about the weather
Let's
either.
Keep it lighthearted.
No, that's right. Jimbo Robinson, thank you, buddy, and we'll be talking to you.
Thank y'all.
As we go on, buddy. Appreciate you guys.
Congratulations on 25 years from all of us at DU.
All right, buddy. Thank you. All right.
Yes, sir.
Jimbo Robinson. I'm looking forward to Guy Trevo them being a sponsor, and we,
absolutely.
We're going to stick them on the website, a little DU on there, and we'll get that big event coming up in August.
We're going to be talking to them quite often.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they have.
Stay updated. There's so much we can talk about, of what they do and everything. So
we're going to do it.
Great stuff.
Great stuff. All right, let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Be right back on this Saturday morning.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. As we mentioned earlier, as we roll into this 25th anniversary year for Outdoors with Larry Ray in 2025, we're really happy to welcome aboard in this special year. A couple of special companies have joined us to join along with the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, which has been part of our family for years. We're so happy to have Memphis-based Ducks Unlimited. And also right now, we're going to talk to one of my favorite people, one of my favorite companies. I was down there a long time ago, buddy, when I was down there and got to know exactly what B&M Poles stands for. And I just told Guy Treble, my webmaster, and he fell out. He did not know that. I mean, but you do now, right?
I do now.
What does B&M stand for?
Brooms and mops.
There you go. And we got the head broom and mop man himself right now. We got Jack Wells on with us. Good Saturday morning, Jack.
Good morning. Hope y'all are doing well.
We're doing good, Jack. And thanks to you guys. You've been such a part of this team for so many years and been able to share a lot of great moments at B&M with your pro staff and share some moments in the Legends of the Outdoors, those times. And we're going to get to do that again this August when my man's going in over there, Ron Wong.
Thank you.
Well, there could not be a better candidate, I promise you that.
No, and I can't wait to hear his speech. You know, he's only allowed 5 minutes. But
I'll only speak 2.
You'll only speak 2, but we wanted to welcome you guys as part of the Outdoors with Larry Ray team, Jack, and I know the history is there. And I wanted to really share some of that history with not only what you guys mean now, but where you started, your roots right there in West Point. You're a Tupelo guy. I know that. You're a Mississippi State guy, and you still accept Ron Wong. I mean, that's got to be a tender-hearted man, you know, when a Mississippi State guy accepts an Ole Miss guy. He's got on his Ole Miss shirt.
Somebody's got to work with him.
He's got his shirt on today. He knows that they beat my Razorbacks Wednesday night, and he's touting himself here. But the company itself, Jack, tell our listeners a little about that history, because I know third generation, if I'm not mistaken, Mr.
Yes,
Simmons so long ago, back in the late 40s, I think, and then here comes Buck. Talk. Just briefly tell our listeners this amazing story about B&M Poles.
I'd be happy to. It's one I love telling. The company was founded in 1947 by Woodrow Wilson Simmons.
Yes.
Wow.
He was affectionately known as Mr. Will.
Yes.
And, you know, you were correct. He started out in the broom and mop business. And I think that chugged along there for a couple of years. But, you know, in the background of all this, he was an avid crappie fisherman.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
And, you know, of course, in those days, the bamboo pole was probably the primary tool used to catch crappie.
Yeah.
And, you know, he used to go all around the U.S., and he was always looking for the perfect bamboo pole.
Yeah.
And ultimately, he kind of eased into that business, and then that's the part of the business that took off. You know, one thing he told me many years ago, right about the time I started here, I said, you know, Mr. Will, what made you decide to make the change? And he said, well, you know, Jack, I guess I figured out that folks would much rather go crappie fishing than sweep their porch. And I thought, well, you know,
I love that story.
I imagine if you polled 100 people, you're going to get 100 answers on that all the same.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where the business took off. And then, yeah, you know, of course, you know, Buck had always worked there, but then, you know, Buck had gone off to serve our country for a few years and had come back, and as had Mr. Will. And so Buck came back, and ultimately he kind of took it to the next level where we started doing, you know, a lot of the fiberglass telescopic poles.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the little Jewels and and the Cadillacs and some items that we still carry today.
Yeah.
And still actively sell. Yes.
Yeah.
And then somewhere around 1978 or 79, he had the idea, well, I think we need to make one out of graphite.
Out of graphite.
Lighter It'll be more sensitive.
Buck's graphite jig pole. That's
Buck's graphite jig pole. But now here was the rub.
Yeah.
That pole was going to retail for around $30 to $35.
Ooh, big money.
Back in those days.
Big money, buddy.
Big money back in those days.
Yeah.
And Buck will tell you, he was told by everybody he talked to, no way a crappie fisherman pays that for a pole. No way they're going to pay that.
Yeah.
I will tell you that even today, the Buck's graphite jig pole is our flagship item, our best-selling item, and the most recognizable item. There's not a crappie fisherman out there worth his or her salt that don't have one in this boat. In their boat.
Great rod.
And we're talking about 79, the late 70s. To now, 24, 25 now, and it's where it started. And then you joined you kind of came in, Jack. Let's don't throw you under the bus yet, okay? I mean, because you've had that implant on that business too, because family's family, right? I mean,
it is. I started here in 2000.
Yep.
I was formerly in the electrical industry and had the opportunity to, move back to Mississippi because at that time I'd lived all over the Midwest and Northeast.
Yeah.
And had the opportunity to move back to Mississippi and the opportunity to, have your own gig. And that's it was a risk, but it was one I couldn't pass up.
No.
And so I started here in 2000. Wow. And what we've tried to do in the last 25 years is continue the expansion that Buck had started. So we've extremely broad line of crappie rods right now. About 10 years ago, we started taking a look at the catfish side of things, and of course that's been really good for us too. So. We've been extraordinarily blessed. We've got a couple of inshore rods. We're actually working on an offshore rod too right now. So been a huge blessing to be a part of this organization.
What would Mr. Will think now, you think, when you look back on it, Jack?
Well, I think he would be surprised at the retail prices of some of the products that come out of here now.
Yeah.
I mean, when you start talking about the forward-facing sonar and the poles that people are using to adapt to that, Buck would be the same way. Buck would be. Buck would have said, "There's no way you'll ever sell a pole over $100." But you know what? We sell them every day.
Every day. So, and again, we're talking to Jack Wells, our good friend, B&M Poles out of West Point, Mississippi. And yes, it does stand for what now? Guy Trebo?
Brooms and mops.
Brooms and mops. So you haven't ever changed the name. I didn't know if that ever was thought about, that we would change that name, but it's become part of the legend, hasn't it, Jack? I mean,
it has. I would never consider that.
What would ever happen if you moved out of West Point and changed the name? I mean,
that's right. It's again, the name is well recognized, the brand is well recognized, and it is such a great story to tell. It really is. It is one of the best trivia questions whenever we do a seminar or something like that. Yeah. That's one of the first trivia questions that gets asked.
Yeah. Well, Jack, you guys are upstanding community citizens, as I like to call
Always have been.
And, in trying to get the younger generations involved in fishing, that's one of the things you guys really work hard at, don't you?
We do. Look, the average age of a fisherman tends to increase each year, but it is especially noticeable on the crappie side of things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, we will always get a lot of our reformed bass fishermen who change to crappie midway through their life. So that those folks will always be there. But we're trying to encourage young people. And look, they don't have to fish for crappie. They don't have to buy B&M pole. What we want them to do is just be involved in fishing and in the outdoor lifestyle. Because at the end of the day, I think that's the best place.
And of course, Jack, I didn't realize that. We're both celebrating a milestone this year. 25 years you've been with B&M. 25 years we've been doing this. So that kind of goes along with the theme for 2025. And I know when we talk about B&M, we have to talk about your pro staff. You guys have a top-notch pro staff. I can't imagine how many people talk to you each year and want to be a member of the B&M pole staff.
We get We get several hundred applications a year, whether it's
several
whether
hundred.
It's on,
yeah,
folks, that tells you.
That tells you right there,
of the reputation.
Yeah.
The great reputation of B&M Poles.
No wonder I hadn't heard from him yet.
Yeah, you hadn't heard from the guy. No, you're not going to hear from him now. You're not going to hear from him, particularly in West Point, Mississippi. I don't think you're going to hear from him. Okay. And we're talking to Jack Wells of B&M Poles, and now they're part of Outdoors with Larry Ray. They've always been part of this show. I think when we started this show, probably one of our first guests back in there might have been Jack. I don't know. It was somebody with B&M. Because we've been associated with Kent Driscoll and all your guys, and we just had John Godwin on not too long ago.
We had him on about 4 weeks ago, I think.
Talking about man, he's gone crazy.
Fishing pole that.
Yeah.
Godwin, what is it?
I can't remember the name.
It's the Godwin crappie cast.
That's it.
Yeah, and we talked to him about.
I got to tell you.
What?
Yeah, I mean, look, John's a great fisherman. Something that a lot of folks did not know about John. They knew him from the TV show.
Yeah.
But the guy is an excellent fisherman, excellent deer hunter. His skills go way past the duck hunting side of things. And he's going to be guiding now.
He's going to be.
He is. He's a full-time guide.
Yeah. I'd like to spend a day in a boat with John Godwin. Think about that, folks. And he's going to bring out. He's not going to bring out a $30 crappie pole, I don't think either. So
it's not. Now it is a great product. But
it's
the
a
rod
wonderful
by
product.
Itself,
yeah.
Yep. The rod by itself will retail for just under $60. I think the combo is going to be just over $70. The beauty of it is that we have. Look, it's got John's name on it.
Yeah.
But this product is unlike anything that we had in the lineup.
Yeah, it
in
is.
Its construction, in its action, in its components. I mean, this is something totally different. And of course, it addresses yet again one of the techniques that have been developed since forward-facing sonar.
Yes.
But look, those fish, they get finicky.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 of my pros will tell you that when that's the case, go smaller.
Uh-huh.
And so now you've got a lighter line, you've got a lighter jig, but you've got to have something that can cast that thing 25, 30 feet, and this rod is designed for that. So it is a unique item, nothing else like it in our assortment. So we're very proud of it. John did a great job.
Yeah, you go to your website. Tell them where to get more information. Ron usually jumps on that for me, but tell them because this is after Christmas, folks. You still hadn't got that favorite gift. Here's your chance right now. Tell them where they get information, Jack.
It's at www.bnmpoles.com.
It's that simple.
Yeah. And one of the things that is coming up in February is Crappie Madness at the Bass Pro Shop.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
And all the B&M pros will be out there in all the stores.
And then Ron will be up at the Grizzly Jig before long, too. I mean, so we're going to be talking about a lot about that. Jack Wells, thank you, buddy. If you can hang on after we cut off here, I'm going to ask you something off the air a little bit here. But let's take a break with Jack. Thank you, buddy. And we'll talk to you more, buddy. We appreciate you, okay?
Thank you.
We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, and I hope you enjoyed talking to our newest sponsors of Outdoors with Larry Ray, and that's B&M Poles and Guy Trebill. What does that stand for again?
Brooms and mops.
Brooms and mops. So Guy has got that now, and of course also our good friends at Ducks Unlimited. Always good to talk to Jimbo Robinson there. But good Saturday morning to all you folks in Brownsville on 1520 AM, 95.3 FM, and in Jackson on News Talk 101.5, and of course right here in Memphis every Saturday morning from 9 to 10:30 on AM 790. And this being the second Saturday, the man's here himself, Ron Wong.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It is a nice sunny day today.
Yeah, we're not talking the weather, Ron.
Anyway,
we're not talking the weather.
It's a great day.
Yeah. I'm just glad it's not next Saturday, okay?
Yeah.
Because we got some good folks who are going to put on an event next Saturday.
I can't wait for this
Cameron Brown
event.
Park.
I can't wait for this
and
event.
I bet they catch some trout at Cameron Brown Park because that's the annual Mid-South Freeze-Out for the Mid-South fly fishers. And we've got Jud Parker. He is the vice president of the Mid-South Fly Fishers on with us on this Saturday morning, 1 week before the big event. Good morning, Jud.
Hey, good morning, Larry. Good morning, Ron.
All right, you guys, appreciate you. This event, and the freeze out is right. We will say we're glad it's not today, but we're glad it's next Saturday. And you guys time this. It's really a major event for the club, isn't it, Jud? I mean.
Yes, sir. Yeah, this is like our first proverbial toe in the water.
Yes, yeah.
For the fly fishers. For to kick off our year, and historically it's been a very good event for us. We've had typically cooler weather, which is trout kind of weather we like, but it's never been too bad to not get out there and have a good time.
And we know that the TWRA, one of their most successful things that they have done, folks, is their winter trout program. And these guys have done a wonderful job. They've already had one stocking. They're getting ready to have another stocking, and it times it just perfect. And I guarantee you, Jud, you will know this. There will be people out there when they stock. I've seen them.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen them at Cameron Brown. I live in Germantown. I've seen them waiting on the trucks.
You know, just for all you listeners that may think about attending, and I encourage you to do so. But the 10-day forecast has. Next Saturday, Saturday week, 49 degrees.
You believe that 10-day forecast, Ron?
Yes, I do.
Okay, Ron believes the 10-day forecast, and his dream job is to be a weatherman when he retires, whatever.
Make good money.
Yeah, they make good money.
To tell lies.
Right, 30% of the time. But anyway, Jud, so explain what's going to happen out there at Cameron Brown that Saturday.
Sure, thanks again. So, first of all, the most important thing, it's a free event.
Free event. All right. Ron's perked up now. Okay.
I love free.
Yeah.
That's right. We want to encourage people that are new to the sport, want to get their first chance and crack at casting a fly rod, learning about the sport. This is your opportunity. And if Ron's weather holds at 49 degrees, that's really pleasant.
That's pleasant. Yeah.
And you don't have to have anything. You're not required to bring rods and reels. If you don't have anything, the club just got some brand new Orvis outfits from our local Orvis dealer. So we thank them for that. But, man, these things are super nice rods and reels. So great opportunity, again, for the community to come out, spend some time with us, learn more about fly fishing, and actually have an opportunity to catch a trout right here in the Mid-South.
Yeah, what are the hours and the location and that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Sure. So Cameron Brown's located right there in Germantown, right off Farmington Boulevard.
Yeah.
Just before you get to Wolf River. Time is, we're going to start around 9 a.m. and go till 11 or 12-ish. We will have coffee and donuts, so there's some food and beverages provided. We'll have some flies there because a lot of us obviously will bring our gear. So we'll take care of you if you want to get started in it. We're really looking forward to that.
And
again, it's free. You do have to have a trout light. That's correct. It's free for our event there at the pavilion, but you do need a trout license to accompany your standard 001 TWRA fishing license.
Yes, and that's the trout stamp. Of course, if you're 13 years of age and under, no license required for children. So
that's right.
It's an opportunity, and you guys will be teaching too, right, Jud? I mean, here's your chance.
Absolutely.
If folks have wanted, maybe they got a new fly rod for Christmas. Who knows? And you guys have been around since the 1800s, I think. I don't know. You've been.
Well, I got to tell you, I may go out for a lesson, and I really mean that because
for a lesson.
I gotta say
what
Dan and John Berry tried to teach me to fly fish, and I have yet to master it. I may come back out for another lesson.
Did y'all hear that on Radio Land? Ron Wong is coming out there for a lesson because I took my class at Rhodes, I think it was.
Yes,
Jud. And the late Dan Berry, he gave up on me after a while. He said, "Get you a spinning rod." Okay, I mean because they just gave up on me. And
he gave up on me too.
I think there was a 6-year-old next to me. He was a fly fishing dude. This guy couldn't do it.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like
it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, right?
Yeah. But here's an opportunity, folks, and we want to get Jud Because I know you guys are busy. So you got your what's going on in February with the club before we let you go too.
Yeah. So I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. So we're right now finalizing details for a really cool event with Jamie Rouse. Many of you guys on the radio know who he is.
Oh, yeah.
Jamie's
Orvis man.
Very well-known Orvis endorsed guide, right? He's been Orvis endorsed since 2003. He's Guide of the Year in 2008.
Yeah.
Several times he's been Outfitter of the Year. Very, very well-respected guy. He's going to be coming to town on February 23rd.
Woo.
That's a Sunday.
Okay.
We're working to finalize the details.
We'll announce them here on Outdoors with Larry Ray. You're going to let me know, right?
100%. Yeah, that event will happen actually at one of our local breweries.
Okay.
In the afternoon. Super Bowl's over the weekend before. There's nothing going on. We're not into March Madness yet. This is a great opportunity to come out and spend an afternoon with a really, really first-class caliber guide and environmentalist. And
he is. Yeah, Jamie Rouse. That's right.
Wow.
Put it on your calendar, folks, and then.
Are you guys going to be at the Mid-South Sports Show?
No, they're not going to be there. No,
you won't have a booth this year.
No, I'm not going to be there. We're looking at doing a seminar for that potentially. We'll see how that plays out.
We're going to try to get them as a seminar if we work it out.
Yeah.
Well, Jud, we appreciate
calendar so far.
All right, now tell them how they get more information about your club, because I know some folks probably would like to get interested in fly fishing.
Yeah, for sure. So we're located just about on any of the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram. You certainly can find us there. Website, midsouthflyfishers.org. That's MSFF, the acronym MSFF.org.
Yes.
O-R-G. So look at it. Look for us there. And we hope to see you at the freeze out.
We'll do that, Jud. Thank you, Jud,
Thank
buddy.
you.
Happy New Year to you, buddy. We'll talk to you down the road, all right, man?
Thank you, guys. Yes, sir.
Thank
Y'all
you,
have a
Jud.
great afternoon.
All right, Jud Parker.
See you, bye.
All right. I want to put that in there. Put that on your calendar again. That's next Saturday. That is the 18th at 9 a.m. at Cameron Brown Park.
I may try to
in
make
Germantown. A morning of fly fishing, and really, I mean, the winter trout program is an amazing event, and we've talked about it on this show before. How many trout are put out all across the state thanks to TWRA, and this is a chance to catch. These are eatable trout. I mean,
Yes,
these are 6 inches, and some of them are even bigger.
They're all 10 to 14
yeah,
inches.
they're big. They're big enough to eat and things
they're
like that.
Plenty big to eat.
And I guarantee you, when those trucks show up, people are there of all ages.
Do you know it only takes about 5 to 10 minutes before those trout get acclimated to eating?
Well, they're
after
hungry.
they dump them.
After they dump them.
Yeah.
They're coming from the trout farm, I think, in Flintville or Humboldt, one of those places.
They just love to eat.
And they bring them over here, and they dump them in there, and trout.
And how it's not, Larry, it's not hard to catch those fish. I'll tell you how simple it is.
What?
A little split shot with a number 8 bait holder hook.
Yeah.
And a piece of corn.
Or
a couple of pieces of corn, and you can catch them.
Or if you're really
just like a buck snort trout, right?
Yeah, buck snort. Or you could use a marabou jig or woolly boogers or mops or trout magnets.
Or a trout magnet.
Trout magnet. Our good friend Jeff Smith over there, right?
From
the trout magnet from what's that over in Searcy, Arkansas?
Searcy, Arkansas. Leland Lures.
Leland Lures, yeah. So anyway, that's next Saturday, 9 a.m. at Cameron Brown Park, and I may try to come out for that. I should be.
It's not far from you.
Oh no! I've done stories on it before and everything.
Yeah.
But, and that is a big club. At one time, that was the biggest fly fishing club in the United States.
It really was.
Mid-South Fly Fishers, and the late Dan Berry, and of course his brother John, who's still over at Cotter, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Those two brothers meant so much.
But they've really helped a lot of people get involved with fly fishing, and the way they teach,
it's amazing. I know that the best trout fishing trip I've ever been on was with Dan Berry, and I got 2 minutes to tell this real quickly. We drove all the way to Little Red River, got to Little Red River in Heber Springs. A snowstorm hit. He made one cast, caught a 6-pounder, got back in the car, and came back to Memphis.
Yep.
And I got a picture of him with that trout and the snow coming down. It's one of my all-time great photographs that I was just at the right place at the right time. Well, let's take a break. It's time to talk a little deer talk now with Jeremy Dennison of the TWRA. So let's take a break. We'll be right back on Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this January the 11th, and second Saturday. It means that this is not BW, it's not bonus Wong, it's real Wong. It's RW.
Good morning,
Ron
everybody.
Wong is over there, and if you miss any of these segments, folks, you can go to LarryRay.com, and I guarantee you Guy Trebo will have them all posted, including that first segment where you don't want to miss Ron Wong's fishing report, which I think is the best there is, in about 2 minutes off the top of his head. How fast did he say to go,
minutes.
Guy? Didn't he say, how fast did he say to go, Guy?
0.3.
0.3 or something like that. Yeah.
Brooms and mops.
Brooms and mops.
Brooms and mop. Learn about brooms and mops.
Yeah.
You've asked me every time we've come back from a commercial.
What does B&M stand for? All right. All right, let's talk a little
want to
deer.
get ahead of the game.
This is the, we're closing it out today, this weekend, today and tomorrow. In Tennessee is the young sportsman's deer hunt. Don't say the juvenile hunt. I got in trouble for saying that one year. I think they're all the 201 popper. This is not the juvenile delinquents, This is the young sportsman hunt going on, and it's going to be a real unusual weekend for these kids. Be safe out there, folks, okay? Be safe. But I want to talk to our good friend Jeremy Dennison. He is the CWD field coordinator for the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, which once again will be a sponsor for Outdoors with Larry Ray during the 2025 year. And we always appreciate the TWRA being part of this show for a long, long time, thanks to Commissioner Bill Cox and all the other good folks over there, Emily and all the rest of them part of that. Of course, Amy Spencer and what she does. But let's talk deer, and Jeremy's on the line with us. Good Saturday morning, Jeremy. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good morning, Mr. Larry. I'm doing good. I hope you had a successful deer season, and hope everything's going okay for you.
It didn't end the way I wanted to. Got a little sick there, but I understand a lot of folks did. But it will be memorable because of my 8-point deer that I killed. And folks, I will tell you, on next Saturday's show, you won't want to miss that, because we're going to have Vic Thayer on next Saturday, and he's going to present me with a European mount of my deer. And it is beautiful, buddy. And we're going to talk to Vic next Saturday. So enough of that. Thank you, Sammy Bell, for allowing me to kill that 8-point this year. But let's talk, Jeremy. I know Dave Payne was slammed a bunch of times in 2024, 25. I checked with Dave. He was on last week's show. But talk about it, because I think you got some figures through Thursday. What do you got?
Yes, sir, absolutely. It's been a unique season. I actually spent a couple of Saturdays at Dave's place when we do our annual check stations.
Yeah.
The first one was a muzzleloader opener, and it was, of course, raining and slow and dead.
Yeah.
Hardly anything came in, and boy, they more than made up for it on the rifle opener.
Yes.
We were lagging behind harvest numbers big time, but boy, people really got out and really harvested a lot of deer, especially that weekend. And it was just back-to-back weeks of, I don't know, if it's good weather, good rut activity, and just a lot of people hunting. And the numbers really show that. I checked the numbers as of this week prior to the young sportsman's hunt. We harvested just over 166,000 deer in the state.
Whoa! Okay.
That's almost 10,000 more than the COVID year where we got that bump in harvest.
Amazing.
So,
amazing. What does that tell you, Jeremy? I mean, you keep up with this stuff, and of course, we'll talk some CWD here in a minute. But what does that tell you about our hunters and their ability to, whatever the season might give them, they take it?
That's right. I think that's one thing that it tells me is given the opportunity and the right conditions, hunters in Tennessee really can be effective.
Yes.
Also, I think it has a lot to do with. I know we talked a couple weeks back about the difference in acorn crop between this year and last year, and how that cycle sometimes is reflected in the increase and decrease in harvest numbers. And I think this was a pretty poor year in most areas for hard mass, so deer had to move a little more. You couple that with really great weather, really seemed to be a really good rut, for most parts of the state that corresponded with, good weather weekends to hunt. So it was all just kind of like the perfect storm, I think.
And when it comes down to it, also that we're adaptable to what we're offered. It just felt like such a short season to me, Jeremy. I'm sorry. Once you got into that CWD season, and we'll talk about that here again, as I said in just a minute, but we had to adapt back to the original format. I mean, we had our third Saturday in November. We had our muzzleloader hunt, and we had all these different kind of hunts. But, there for a while we got kind of spoiled, I think. But,
That's right. That's right. And the commission made an effort, and the agency made an effort to kind of simplify regulations, kind of go back to the former season structure, so to speak. And so that's what we're left with. And, a lot of people were surprised that, the 5-day private lands antlerless hunt was gone this year. And that, again, that's just kind of to streamline and to simplify regulations.
And we're on these regulations, we're set for next year, same kind of regulation. Is that right? Do we go?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
yes, sir. We're on 2-year cycles now for most of the big game regulations. Yes, sir.
Well, let's talk about chronic wasting disease. We talked about so much, buddy, and you even got a title for it now. I mean, that's your ballywick. So talk about that this year, because I did get a response in email that my deer was good. It didn't have,
good.
And I appreciated it came in. It was a little bit, 3 weeks or later, maybe a month later, but I got the information back, which I kept waiting to hear from. And I know I take my deer to Dave Payne, and he is so meticulous about that. But talk about the CWD side this year.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of business as usual this year. We, obviously, we've been in this for, I think, what is this, 5?
At least 5.
The 5th or 6th year, something like that. And we've tried to streamline that process, and, those automatic emails that come out, that's part of that. That's just another piece. We try to communicate with our hunters, their test results, if they're wondering about it. I had a couple of deer in the hopper as far as sampling, and I like to have a couple in there just so I can see what turnaround time is. I think I had one that was about 9 days, and one that was about 12 or 13, I think it was. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with the turnaround time this year. I think it averaged about 10 to 14 days.
I think mine was about 14, 12, 13, something in that length. But I know I did get it. So we're still in that same situation as far as next year. What about the buck to doe ratio this year? How was that?
Well, the harvest tells a story that there was more bucks than does, significantly more bucks than does harvested, but you can't really go by that because there's a lot of factors that goes into that. One of that's hunter's preference.
That's right.
And, so harvest is not necessarily a good index of what the true ratio and the true numbers are.
Yeah, well, I know that I try to kill 3 doe a year. That's my quota. And this year I killed 1 buck and no does. So I guess over the long haul, I'm helping out, I guess. But
hey, you'll have to make up some ground next year.
I am. I'm gonna. Make up some ground. That sounds like something. I like ground venison.
There you go.
I do have that, but I will say, folks, I recommend. Everybody needs to have I don't know, but I get the same person cuts my hair. I got this and that. We all got person. Dave Payne. I'm just gonna throw it out there right now. I've been fortunate to have some great deer processors over the years, and I'll put Dave Payne up there with anybody just about because of what he really puts a lot into his job as a deer processor. And that's not an easy job, right, Jeremy? You guys have to deal with these processors. People think, no, that's That's a hard job, man. The 15-hour days.
That is a hard job, and we deal with a lot of them across West Tennessee here, and I'm thankful for them because a lot of people. We couldn't. There wouldn't be near as many people that'd be able to participate. And it seems to be a pretty hard job.
It's rewarding. They're in there to make some money, folks. I know that, but at the same time, you put yourself in a job from September to January and see how you like it.
Hey, you get a year's worth of work in about 4 months.
You do, and live off that. Hey, Jeremy, thank you, buddy. Always good to talk to you, man, and thank you for your help throughout this season. We'll stay in touch. Anytime we can do anything for you down here, let us know, buddy. But I appreciate it.
Have a good weekend, Mr. Larry.
Thank you, buddy. All right, Jeremy Dennison, TWRA CWD field coordinator. And, we got 2 minutes in this segment. I was going to save it till the end, but I think this kind of ties in. We lost a real part of our team at Outdoors with Larry Ray recently with the death of Theo Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Theo was a show producer for this show for a long time. During his tenure going to school, during his tenure working at FedEx, and I was just so shocked to hear of Theo's passing at the age of 48. And
gone too soon.
Yeah, I want to send out our condolences from Guy and Ron and Shelby and all of us at Outdoors with Larry Ray to Theo's family. He was a spark in this show. Always had a smile, had an opinion, but he was very reliable. I know sometimes he comes straight from FedEx, and I'd come in here and he'd be asleep because he came straight from FedEx.
Yeah.
But show producers, we couldn't do this without y'all, Shelby.
No,
You
absolutely.
guys have,
that's what makes the show.
We've been 25 years, and we've had 6 or 7 show producers, but they do all the work, folks. They push the buttons, get it all sent out, and everything else. Hold up their fingers, which we now know what that means now. They're not testing the wind or anything like that in the studio, but we appreciate them. And all right, rest in peace, Theo Brown. All right, let's take a break, close this baby out. We're going to put a charge in the show. I've already said that once, haven't I? We're going to talk batteries on Outdoors with Larry Ray, and Ron Wall's going to take it over. He knows everything about batteries. He's not saying anything.
I know a little bit about
All right, we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, brought to you by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, B&M Poles, and Ducks Unlimited.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. And I think I made a mistake one time of saying for the last segment, everybody thought we was going off the air. No, we're going into our 25th year on the air in 2025, and it's going to be a big year for Outdoors with Larry Ray. We've been doing this a long time. Guy Trebo, he is the webmaster for LarryRay.com, and we spell it LarryRay.com, the correct way to spell Larry.
Yes, sir.
And then I've got my fishing guru over there, my brother by another mother. That's my Ron Wong man over there. He's even got his Ole Miss drinking cup today, along with his shirt, because he knows he beat my Razorbacks that Wednesday night. Thank you, Ron. I'll come better dressed next time.
Well, I got to tell you, it's been a great show so far, Larry.
Why don't you introduce this next guest, because I'm really excited to learn about it, because I've heard a lot about Miller Tech Energy Solutions, and I know they're a faith-based company, and they go by the Golden Rule. And when I read that on their website, I said, Ron, you did good, Ron. Let's see. Why don't you introduce this guest?
Well, thank you, Larry. Our next guest is the owner of Miller Tech Lithium Batteries, located in Ohio. And it's a battery that I have been using for several years now.
Yeah.
That is the best lithium battery. I've never had a problem with a battery of theirs. I've known people that have had some problems, and their customer service is A1 excellent. Let's welcome Lester Miller, the owner of Miller Tech Batteries. Good morning, Lester.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thank you for having me on your show.
It's good to have somebody from the north who knows what snow really is. Okay,
so knows how to drive in it.
Yeah, we didn't.
Yeah, we're right by Lake Erie. We get a bunch of snow.
Well, that's why I said it would really fit in to have Lester on the show, because we hadn't talked about snow in this whole show because we don't want to.
We don't want to talk about. We don't want to talk about.
We want to get back to the batteries here. And when I went to your website, Lester, and I saw who's on your pro staff. You don't have to say anything, Lester. Turn it over to that pro staff. Man, you have got an all-star lineup. I don't know how. That's an impressive group of guys. Is that just the way it works?
No, I guess if you have a good product, these guys they want to use something they can depend on.
Yeah.
Obviously, we all know in the fishing industry these guys are not free. We have to pay them to use their products. But I can honestly tell you, most of the guys, or all the guys that we work with, talk to us all the time, and they really want a product that they can depend on, and that they feel good about. Even if there's money involved, they still want a product, because ultimately, if they're not making the cut, or if they're not able to use their trolling motor all day, and they're not able to win that tournament, or have a good chance of winning it, that's their main goal. So they do want a good product, and we try to offer that to them.
Lester, one of the things that you guys have out on social media talks about the MillerTech lithium battery and what sets it apart. Tell our listeners what sets the MillerTech battery apart from all the rest of the lithium batteries on the market.
Well, I think there's a few things. One of the main things, it's kind of a unique story we have, but we're actually an Amish-owned company, and I don't like to use that for marketing, but I think we still need to talk about this, because it gives us a unique opportunity, and I'm very blessed to have that opportunity. But we were raised, and it's just part of our culture to be customer-centric, and to be to look out for the customer and not always worry about lining your pockets. Of course, we need to have a business that we're making money and we're running a sustainable business. But at the end of the day, the best way to do that is to take care of your customers so they take care of you. Well, and we've run by that motto now for the last 7 years, and it's really starting to pay dividends.
Well, you just kind of touched on this, Lester, because I really hit on that with your website and the other information I discovered about you. How did y'all get this? How did this form? How did MillerTech come about?
Some of the best things in life that I've kind of figured this out usually happen by accident.
Okay.
When we try to control our destiny, sometimes it doesn't always go the way we want it to. But
Amen.
No, MillerTech honestly was started. You could say an accident. I had this application where I needed a battery, and I played around, and I realized in 2015 that lithium was up and coming.
Yeah.
So I played with it, and I failed. I really tried to make a battery for my old my company I was working for. They didn't want anything to do with it. They thought it was too expensive. So I played with it with my own money, and I failed, and that's what drove me to figure out how to make lithium batteries.
Oh my goodness! That's
what a great story!
What a story!
And you know, Lester, from those early days, which the lithium battery industry is very still in its infant stage to a certain extent, but you guys have come a long way and offer a great line of products, not just for the fishermen, but you have all different kind of batteries. Talk a little bit about what you have to offer.
Yeah.
So we have anything from ice fishing batteries, small little 12-volt batteries, all the way up to your big RV batteries. So 12-volt, 24-volt, 36, 48-volt, and many different configurations. Currently, we really are pushing the marine market because who doesn't want to lose 300 pounds from the back of their boat?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want a battery that can be recharged in 2 or 3 hours?
Yes.
Yeah.
From completely empty to completely full. Who doesn't want a battery with a 10-year warranty that is covered by anything?
Yeah, 10-year warranty.
And those batteries come in 12, 24, and 36 volt for the fishermen too, right?
They do, yes, and then 48 volt for the golf carts.
Yes. Yeah, that's the way to go. Hey, you guys got a great line of batteries, and we don't have enough time in today on this segment.
We'll get Lester back on.
We're going to get Lester back on in the future.
It's a fascinating thing.
But you guys also have my best favorite headlamp there is. It's a lithium battery headlamp. Talk a little bit about
Yeah,
those.
talk about that, because I swear by mine, and I need another one. I'm going to work on that, because I thought I was getting one for Christmas, Lester, but talk about that, because I'm a man, I don't like the dark. You guys have lit up my life, okay? Talk about that.
If you wanted a MillerTech headlamp for Christmas and you didn't get one, that means maybe you need new friends.
Well, I don't know. I've had the same wife 59 years. I guess she didn't hear me right, but but no. So talk about that
the
side.
Headlamps.
Yeah,
the headlamps. What is a game changer with those is they have the lithium battery with a 5-year warranty, and these batteries, you can charge them in the headlamp just like you would your phone. You can plug the headlamp into USB-C and recharge it.
Yeah.
Or the cool thing is, let's say you're going hunting out west in the mountains. You can buy extra batteries, and you can fill all the batteries up, put a couple batteries in your backpack, go hunting, and you can just swap the lithium batteries.
Amazing.
So
wow.
You can get 10 hours of runtime on one battery. If you have a couple extra batteries, you're good for 30 or 40 hours of constant light. So that really is a game changer, depending on what you're working on.
Well, we're talking again to Lester Miller of MillerTech Lithium Batteries. So the size of your company, Lester, how many people work for MillerTech?
We have 22 full-time and then a few
That's amazing.
part-time.
That's amazing, guys.
Yeah.
So this is not some job this is not an 8 to 5 job, right, Lester? I mean,
not for me. No, not yet.
I got that.
And one of the things they also have, not only great batteries and headlamps, but they have some really good chargers too. That are
they do. Yes.
The price. It's a real customer service. Customer experience price, in my opinion. They're not that expensive, but they are. You need a dedicated charger for lithium batteries, don't you?
Yeah.
You need a waterproof charger if it's going to be in your boat. We see a lot of chargers. If we're going to talk about chargers, all our chargers have aluminum metal casing, meaning, let's say a charger, because sometimes there is problems with chargers. Let's say a charger does happen to melt or get hot or something. Yeah. There's a lot of chargers on the market. If you do some internet research, a lot of these lithium chargers are just coming in a plastic molded case.
That's right.
No.
That is something that we would not do. We have all aluminum case chargers, and they're all waterproof. Mm-hmm. You can put these chargers. I mean, our chargers, you can put them underwater for 24 hours and get them out and use them.
Oh, man.
So we really try to make an actual marine charger.
Well, we're going to get you back on, Lester. This fascinating company. Again, we're talking Lester Miller, MillerTech Lithium Batteries. All right, Ron, tell him that question you always ask me to tell before we let him go.
Lester, if somebody wants more information about MillerTech Lithium Batteries, where do they go?
Where do they go, Lester?
You should be able to just Google MillerTech, but if you have to, go to MillerTechEnergy.com, look us up. There's a chat on there. You're not going to a bot. You're going to an actual person in our office. Send us a text message from that chat. We will get back to you as soon as possible, and we'll do everything in our power to give you the best service and the best product that's available.
Hey, and Lester, I might also add they are on Facebook.
Yeah, I've already gone on Facebook. I'm with you now, Lester.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Lester, for being with us on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We're going to talk again, buddy. God bless you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, God bless you, and hope you have a great year. And we'll talk to you again in 2025. All right, Lester. Okay.
Same to you guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Lester Miller. All right, let me tell you about next week's show. That was fascinating, Ron. I don't know if you knew what we were going to get out of that, but it was really good. Thank you.
We're going to have to talk more with Lester.
All right, it's third Saturday next week. We'll see if Frank Barton can make the trip over from Arkansas. I'm hoping he can. He may come in a four-wheeler. I don't know. But we're going to talk to Vic Thayer. As I told you, I'm going to see my new dear European mount. He's going to present it on next week's show. We're going to talk to Matt Backus of Ames Plantation. A lot of things going on. The new Wolf River got some new land out there people can be able to hunt on. A lot of things going on at Ames, talking bird dogs. And Randy Zellers, we're going to recap the Arkansas elk hunting season.
Cool.
Woo, they killed some big ones last week. Ron Wong, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, brother.
Guys.
Guy?
Yep.
Anytime. Okay.
Mops and brooms.
Go to LarryRay.com.
Brooms and mops.
We want to wish everybody here a
happy
and prosperous New Year.
And we always say it doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. And what else, guys?
God bless the USA.